Welcome to 168. As COVID mitigations begin to lessen and as we ramp up for preparations for our official launch in March, we want to continue to provide a preview for who we are and where we're going. My name is Carl, and I'm a pastor and a 168 team member. Today we have two treats for you. You'll want to stick around to the very end. First, and as you may know, one of our values at 168 is engagement over entertainment. And we want you to not only engage on Sunday morning through proactive singing and lifting of hands, but for us as a church, we want to seek out strategic partners with whom we can help restore our communities. Therefore, today we asked Liz, our kids director, to interview Elizabeth Carey, the Sharing Connections Director of Development. Elizabeth will talk to us about why she's involved in an organization that furnishes hope, where she believes Sharing Connections is headed, and how 168 might celebrate and participate in its mission. If Sharing Connections sounds familiar, it's because many of you partnered with them through our December Christmas drive. Second, immediately following the interview, for the first time ever, John and I will show you a first-person look of where we'll be hosting our launch service. That's right, as mitigations allow, we are moving towards launching in early March, so make sure to stay tuned until the end. Even in the midst of launch, we recognize the spectrum of circumstances around our church community. Some are celebrating new additions, while others are lamenting loss. 1 Corinthians 15, 55 through 57 reminds us, "Where, O death, is your victory? Where, O death, is your sting? The sting of death is sin, and the power of sin is the law. But thanks be to God, he gives us the victory through our Lord Jesus Christ." As we move forward toward launch, we want to continue to give you the opportunity to learn songs that we will engage with. This song, "God a Revival," was the first song of our pre-preview services online. Wherever you are, and if you're able, I invite you to stand and to sing this song as a reminder of our call to participate in the flourishing of our city. Sharing Connections is one outreach partner that is bringing hope to our community.
Seen what you can do, oh God of wonders. Your power has no end. The things you've done before, in greater measure, you will do again. 'Cause there's no prison wall you can't break through, no mountain you can move, all things are possible. And there's no broken body you can raise, no soul that you can save, all things are possible. The darkest night, you can light it up, you can light it up. Arise, death is overcome, you've already won, oh God of revival. You rose in victory, and now you're seated forever on the throne. So why should my heart fear what you defeated? I will trust in you alone. 'Cause there's no prison wall you can't break through, no mountain you can't move, all things are possible. Oh, and there's no broken body you can't raise, no so that you can save, all things are possible. The darkest night, you can light it up, you can light it up, oh God of revival. Let hope arise, death is overcome, and you've already won. awaken your people. Come awaken this city. Oh God of revival, pour it out, pour it out. Every stronghold will crumble. I hear the chains hit the ground. Oh God of revival, pour it out, pour it out. Come awaken your people. Come awaken the city. Oh God of revival, pour it out, pour it out. Every struggle will crumble. I hear the chains hit the ground. Oh God of revival, pour it out, pour it out. Come awaken your people. Come awaken the city. Oh God of revival, pour it out, pour it out. Every struggle will crumble. I hear the chains in the ground. Oh God of revival, pour it out, pour it out. The darkest night, you can light it up. You can light it up. Oh God of revival, let hope arise. Death is overcome. You've already won. Oh God of revival.
Hi, I'm Liz, and I am one of the leaders of the 168 Kids team here at 168 Community Church. And today I'm here with Beth from Sharing Connections, and she's going to be telling us about their organization and sharing some ways that we can stay connected with them. So even before we get into sharing the story and heartbeat behind Sharing Connections, we'd love to get to know you a little bit. So can you tell us your name and how you got involved in the nonprofit sector?
My name's Elizabeth Carey. I'm our Director of Development at Sharing Connections. And I've actually always worked in nonprofits. I grew up a Girl Scout, so my inspiration is part of that Girl Scout promise is to help people at all times. And so for me, I've kind of adopted that as my personal mission. So I try to do that in everything I do, which includes my work.
Tell us the story behind Sharing Connections. How did it get started? Whom do you primarily serve? And how do you measure success?
Sure. We got started from one person who believed they could make a difference. Her name was Leanne McGrath, and she's our founder, and she still works with us today. And she was kind of disheartened about the news cycle back almost 35 years ago now. And she prayed about it, and she realized that she needed to do something to make a difference. Mm-hmm. And she learned about a single mother who couldn't take care of her baby. She just didn't have the items she needed. And back 35 years ago, you know, there weren't a lot of resources, and so Leanne took it upon herself to start asking her friends, her neighbors, her church family for items that people didn't need anymore and were still usable. And she was able to help that woman get everything she needed to take care of that baby. And from there, we've only grown. She ended up putting a garage door opener on the outside of her garage so that folks could open it up and drop things off. The guy who installed it thought she was kind of crazy. It's like, you realize people can go in your garage. She's like, that's the point, it's so exciting. But he did it anyway. And she kind of grew out of her garage and then took over the house and the basement and everything. And then we ended up in our over 10,000 square foot warehouse today. And she's still very much involved. So that's kind of how we started. We still work on the same principles of sharing good things with good people. Now we really focus on furniture and household items, and especially that our core is kind of helping children and babies have a bed of their own. So kind of back to that core mission. And we help folks that are in crisis. So they're all struggling with poverty, but also they might be fleeing domestic violence and just getting a new home for themselves. Veterans that are struggling to adjust, that were on the streets and now have a home but nothing to fill it with. Often our clients have lived in a shelter or they're on the streets or other temporary housing, and they finally got back on their feet enough to have a home, but they can't afford to have anything else. So that's kind of where we are and what started us.
It's amazing. Such a good story. Can you share with us a story of one recent family or person who was empowered through sharing connections?
Absolutely. This one just happened this fall. And I'm sure you realize with COVID, a lot of people are struggling. Folks that were struggling with poverty before are struggling more. Folks that weren't struggling with poverty have starting to fall into the poverty line. And we had a gentleman who was he was in supported housing. And so the housing wasn't, the best, but it worked for what he needed. And there was a fire. And unfortunately, sometimes in housing situations like that, the fire alarms aren't always functional. And his apartment was the only one where that fire alarm went off. And instead of just saving himself and his sister, he realized that no one else's alarm was going off, no one else was leaving the building. And so he took it upon himself to go around the whole complex and let everybody know to get out. And thankfully, because of his heroism, everybody got out safe. So the building is completely demolished, destroyed by the smoke, all of their items were destroyed by the fire. And normally, the Red Cross would jump in and help in that situation, get them housing, help them replace their items, get back on their feet. But because of the pandemic, the Red Cross is stretched so thin with resources that he had nowhere to go. They couldn't help. And so one of the cool things about Sharing Connections is we work with partner agencies in all different areas. If we hear about someone struggling, we want to help. So the Red Cross spoke to him and referred him to us and said, hey, can you guys help him? And we were very happy to help him get back on his feet, especially someone who's really sacrificed their own well-being to save others. So when he came to us, he kind of told us that he felt like the system kind of was broken. Like he'd been struggling, he was trying to make ends meet, and then this fire happened, and then a resource that was supposed to help just couldn't. And he's like, I'm kind of frustrated with life. And we're like, we're gonna help you. We're getting you beds, we're getting you a dresser, we're getting you silverware, everything you need to start your life over. And he was not only grateful, but he was so moved that each of the items came from different people. So we had a financial donor donate the mattresses because we purchased those all new. And then we had a family that did a dresser build for us. They went to IKEA and built it as a family. It's pretty cool. So he got a dresser from them. And then we had several individuals and companies that donated silverware, kitchen items, even towels for him because he didn't have those basic things. So, and when we shared, like each of these came from different people sharing, wanting to help you. He was overwhelmed and overjoyed, and he said he kind of renewed his hope in humanity after such a tragedy. So, yeah.
That's beautiful. Beyond serving at Sharing Connections, what values do you want your volunteers from Sharing Connections to implement in their lives?
Sharing Connections was founded on the idea that one person can make a difference, and I think that's what brings us together as our organization. So we hope our volunteers, our staff, and anyone who's a part of Sharing Connections, even our folks that are just donating a pot or a pan, has those values of being able to share good things with good people and doing small acts of kindness.
So there's just simply no way that Sharing Connections or 168 on our own could bring holistic change to a community. So what other places and partnerships do you have in the community?
We believe that everybody can make a difference. We all have unique skills to share. And so we partner with many different people, organizations, religious organizations, and individuals based on their skill set. So we have corporate partner that donates some of our furniture items. We have individual community members that sometimes do fundraisers or a dresser build or different activities. We have a 5K that a lot of people like to participate. It's Mother's Day weekend. We celebrate all the moms, so that's fun. But we kind of have such a variety of things that people can do that we partner all different ways. We also have the race is partnered with Midwestern University. So we kind of involve the college students that way and kind of have a fun partnership there.
Can you tell us a bit about what your partnership with counselors, social workers, nurses, and case managers looks like?
Absolutely. So our clients come through referrals from folks that are in the community. Many are occupations that you've spoken about. We also have folks that are advocates in the community. It might be a teacher that notices a student's not coming with a lunch, and they get the resources for that. And oftentimes we also hear about those folks in need because they also may need beds for the children. So we kind of, our partner agents are kind of our eyes and ears in the community, and then they help us find our clients. And then we also just launched last year, we have Lily as our program manager. She's worked in social services for many, many years. So now we can do in-house referrals as well. So if folks aren't getting other resources or they don't need it, or they're getting resources from a place that's not a partner with us yet, we can do the intake right in-house.
So where do you see Sharing Connections in the next 5 years? So what would be a big, bold, audacious goal that we could celebrate alongside you guys?
Well, one of our biggest challenges is our 24-foot box truck that we use to go into the community to help pick up the furniture items. And we realized through COVID that when we can't go pick up in the community, it really hinders the amount of folks that we can help. We do have some supplementation with our corporate partners, but the community is really the heart of our organization. And our truck is so old. So we've had many struggles, and we've had many very generous supporters and folks that have been able to help us repair it each time it's gone down. But it's definitely aging. So our first challenge is to actually get a new box truck that has a wonderful lift to help the furniture get in there and out of there. So that's our number one goal right now, is kind of working toward that. But also probably 5, hopefully sooner, but that we don't know, depending on the world, you know.
Yeah.
We're also looking to expand our reach. So ideally, we love to have locations like in Will County, because we know that there's such a need there, and the distance is such a barrier. We do have referral partners out here, but just because of the distance, our folks can't always take advantage of the things that we can offer. So having an extra location would be amazing.
I can't even imagine how much farther the reach would be able to go then. Would you be able to tell us about how we can stay connected with you as time goes on?
Absolutely. Well, right now, since everything's virtual, we have our website that has a wealth of information of different ways to help, volunteer, donate, be a part of Sharing Connections, even remotely. We also have our Facebook and our Twitter that's pretty active. So we always love people following us on there, and we give you the most up-to-date stuff. And we do have a newsletter and a mail list. So you can just reach out on the website and sign up for that to be a part of us.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for sharing about Sharing Connections with us, and for just spending time with us so we could learn more about it. We really appreciate it.
You're very welcome. I think things like these kind of conversations are so important, because Sharing Connections truly is built on the community, and we can't do what we do without partners like you guys. So I appreciate you guys having me out.
Well, we are glad to, so thank you.
Do you want more detail? Are you getting excited about the physical launch of 168? We are too. So come back next week as we show you part 2, more details around the worship space, the kids area, and the cry room, and more. Additionally, in the coming weeks, we will also be showing you how to register, where to sign up, what to expect before, during, and after service. To receive live updates, make sure to like our Facebook page, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and sign up to receive our emails at our website, 168cc.org. Once again, we want to thank Elizabeth Carey and Sharing Connections for being a great partner in the greater Oak Brook area of Downers Grove. As we are committed to allocating 10% of our annual budget to outside the wall ministries, we need your help. Do you know or have personal experience with a community partner in Downers Grove, Westmont, Lombard, Villa Park, Hinsdale, Westchester, and the like? Email us at info@168cc.org. We would love to receive your recommendation and connection, as we truly believe in the mission of helping you participate in the flourishing of our communities and seeking out strategic partners with whom we can help restore our communities. Finally, your generosity allows us to not only participate in the flourishing of our communities, but to get us ready for launch. As we look to launch in early March, we are still needing to purchase speakers, microphones, lights, and other video and audio hardware and software, kids ministry curriculum, materials and safety equipment such as gates, student ministry games, snacks, and curriculum, COVID-related air purifiers, additional hand sanitizer, face coverings, and head thermometers, and potentially even a trailer for storage. Through the month of February, we are looking to raise an extra $7,500 specifically towards launch. If where we are going and what we value resonates with you, and you have been waiting to give, or you're looking for a way to contribute specifically to help us launch, or you're able to give additionally towards some of these items right now, is a strategic time to get involved. You can go to 168cc.org and designate your additional giving under the Help Us Launch tab to specifically go towards these needs. An additional $7,500 to help us launch in February. As always, you have 168 hours this week. Whether you're in relationship, workplace, or in the stillness of your home, let's continue to live it for Jesus. We'll see you next week.